next level. I want you to understand that from today, the broadcast for the Biafra liberation and the freedom have changed. And like I promised Biafra people yesterday, that we are going to step up our game since we are now in the international stage in this liberation. Everybody is talking about it. It is time to bring the plight of the Biafra people to the world. We have preached to the Biafra people from the local level. We have preached to the people in Nigeria. We have preached to the indigenous people in Nigeria. We have preached to the African people. We are now preaching to Europeans. We are now preaching to Americans. We are now preaching to Asians. We are now preaching to those who are interested, who want to save the life of indigenous people in Nigeria, so that Nigeria will not use the Taliban of Nigeria to kill everybody and turn Nigeria into Islamic State. We are going to fight. We are Christians, and we have what we call the dangerous diversity in Nigeria, and a very destructive diversity that can never work. Today, we are going to bring our plight to the world from what is happening in Munich, or what happened in Munich, where they have what we call the Munich Security Conference about the Ukraine war, and the NATO membership of the NATO, and the crisis around the world, especially within Europe. So we are going to analyze some of these videos from this Munich conference, where they are discussing the freedom of people in Europe, where they are discussing the security of people in Europe. So I want to learn from there, and then I will use it to, do some things from the perspective of the Biafra people. We are all human beings. If you can fight for Ukraine, if Russia invade Ukraine, you have to fight for Biafra, as Nigeria has invaded Biafra. If you say that the Russia has breached and violated the law, Nigeria also has violated the law, the international law. Nigeria has violated the United Nations human rights, which they are also signatory to. Nigeria has violated the law just as Russia. And on that ground, we are opting out. We are saying that what Nigeria is parading to the world as a democratic process, they call it a general election, is not a democratic process. And that is why the Biafra people are going to not allow Nigeria to conduct election in its territory, because the election of Nigeria is not a democratic process. There is nothing democratic when you have 400,000 Boko Haram in the Nigerian army or police to come to Biafra land and lay a siege and ask people to come out and vote. That is not a democratic process. It is worse than what is going on in Ukraine. So on that ground, Biafra people are only requesting the opportunity to have a true democratic process, which is what we call the referendum. So by the time we succeed in stopping Nigeria from conducting this election in Biafra territory, we are going to now begin to demand and have what we call the referendum that will give every person the right to participate and decide their future, whether they want to be part of a terrorist country or not, whether they want to be part of a country that have committed crime globally, whether they want to be part of a country that all they do is to breed criminals, and whether they want to be part of a country that everything innovation has been abolished, and they have adopted what we call the Sunni, which is that they abolish everything innovation. We are innovative, and we don't want to be part of a country where they are abolishing innovation and they're adopting what we call Sunni. So this particular diversity is very dangerous and very destructive, that it must end this year. If it did not end this year, we may find ourselves in the position or the situation like the Afghanistan people, and at the end of the day, the Taliban will take over. I want to inform you today, those of you listening from Europe, from America, that some of you that are into security issues, you know that Nigeria has always, tried to rehabilitate terrorists, and they will now, recruit them into the security agencies. When you come to Africa with African mentality and the ideology of terrorists, you cannot recruit terrorists and rehabilitate them within 6 months and you say you are now recruiting them into Nigeria security apparatus, and you allow us, you expect us to keep quiet and want to, live our life in a country like that? No, we want to stop Afghanistan template that is being played in Nigeria. In Afghanistan, it took them 20 years. America pumped money for good over 20 years. At the end of the day, they defeated everybody and they took over Afghanistan. We cannot just watch and look at Afghanistan repeating in Nigeria. Why you put our life in danger in the name of politics? Why you put our life in danger in the name of democracy? There is no democracy in Nigeria. We are fighting for the true democracy, and that is why we will not allow this fraudulent election to hold in Biafra land. If you support this election, you are fighting against democracy. If you support this election, you are fighting against justice. If you support this election, you are fighting against fairness. In Nigeria, after you go into the poll to vote, the court of the Fulani will give a decision and decide who will become the chairman, or who will become the governor, or who will become even the president. So we do not want to validate Nigeria again, and we are making this position very clear to the international community. We are saying that Nigeria are bringing over 400,000 security personnel to force Biafra into election, and we are not going to allow that. So if you are coming from the Western world to be an observer in Biafra land, you may end up witnessing a war of separation. And because when these 400,000 policemen come to Biafra, they are not coming for peace. They are coming to kill our young men, kill our children, kill our women, burn our houses, and we cannot put our hand and watch. So we're going to fight back. So if you are coming to Biafra land in the name of observer, just be very security conscious, because you may end up coming to observe war between Nigeria and Biafra, because they are going to come in our land to fight war with 400,000 policemen that they could not provide when the Fulanis are killing our people. They could not provide the security when their sponsored jihadists and terrorists come to our land to kill. Today, they are deploying 400,000 policemen to conduct election. It is unacceptable. And Biafra people have made up their mind. I am just a spokesperson for the Biafra people, and I'm telling them they are right, and they are agreeing to that information and agreeing to the advice and the directive I'm giving to them as the spokesperson of Biafra people. So today, we are going to listen from our own other people from the European Union side, from NATO, from the security conference that is happening in Munich, and we are going to get and borrow some word, and add it to what we are doing. People to understand that we are not just coming to social media to rant, but rather we have come for a just cause and a just fight to freedom. That's all. We are not interested in any other thing other than referendum for the Biafra people. The time is now. All right, I welcome you for this opening speech. A lot of issues have been touched and addressed, and I am going to also inform those of you watching from Twitter, another platform, that you can click on the link that we have shared on our Twitter page and join us on Enter Biafra, because the Twitter page and the Twitter broadcast will be cut off in a few minutes' time. So if you are watching from Twitter, we appeal to you to join us on Enter Biafra. Please, those of you over 100 plus are on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, please go to the link that we posted, click it, and come to Enter Biafra and join us, and let us do this excellent job this evening. Thank you very much. The Twitter people, we have to stop you here. All right, here we go. All right, Biafra, you're welcome. You are watching live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 1, live and direct on Enter Biafra 97.5 FM in Biafra land, watching live and direct on other auto-piloted IPOB platform. And this is live and direct. And here we go. I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm about to do this evening. Here we go.
You confirmed this U.S. support, but we all know next year the United States will enter into an election campaign. We are in a democracy. We know which side of the aisle the result will be. How sure are you that, how certain are you that what you have said, that Putin, who wants to wait us out, that in the end will not succeed?
Thank you, Christoph. As I said, I believe, and I believe the American people understand the stakes. And the stakes being our moral interest and our strategic interest.
Our moral interest, our strategic interest. I want you to listen to this. Our moral interest. In Biafra today, within the Nigeria state,
Vice President, thank
our
you for
fight
this
now
very,
is
very
a fight
strong
for
speech,
our
this
moral
commitment
interest,
to
morality,
transatlantic
moral
unity,
interest.
this commitment
This is
to the
something.
support
We are not
of
different humans.
Ukraine, and we
The
have
same
many
humans in
representatives
America,
from
we
Ukraine
are
here
all
in
the
the
same.
room, and
They are not more better than us.
certainly were
If America
reassured by what we
can
have
fight
said.
for their moral interest,
Let me ask you,
Biafra people have started fighting for their
you
moral
confirmed
interest,
this
starting from
U.S.
this year.
support, but we all know next year the United
Our
States.
moral interest is constantly being violated in Nigeria by the Nigeria state because of the differences in diversity. So we want to fight to also protect our moral interest. And our moral interest can only be protected as an independent state where we can practice this democracy to the fullest. Thank you.
States will enter into an election campaign. We are in a democracy. We know which side of the aisle the result will be. How sure are you that, how certain are you that what you have said, that Putin, who wants to wait us out, that in the end he will not succeed?
Thank you, Christoph. As I said, I believe, and I believe the American people understand the stakes. And the stakes being our moral interest and our strategic interest.
Our moral interest and our strategic interest. Like I said before, I want to borrow something from them. I want to lend this their, what they are saying, because this is now the highest level, of international politics. So what we do now is to protect our moral interest. Our moral interest has been violated, has been rubbished in Nigeria. Nigeria do not have any moral, they don't protect any moral interest of any ethnic group in Nigeria. They do not protect any moral interest of any ethnic nationality in Nigeria. And the time has come that we begin to adopt the West style of civilization. So we are also demanding that our interests, our moral interests, will be protected. And the only place it can be protected is in Biafra nation, where we have where our diversity is completely dissolved, and we can progress and build our nation as people with the same cultural value, with the same moral value system, with everything the same. We have no same moral value system with the northern Nigeria. We do not have anything in common. In fact, it is 1,000 poles apart, clashing of interest. So when you are trying to protect your moral value in the Nigeria, where a northerner is a jihadist, where the whole system has been fulanized, it does not work. They look for you to kill. Now I am preaching that our people need to have freedom, and they are placing $100,000 bounty on my head. As you can see, they have increased the money from $50,000 to $100,000 because I am asking for freedom. The moral value system can never be protected in Nigeria. And the picture here explains it. Nigeria retirees and European retirees. This cannot be accepted anymore. We want to give our retirees a good life and a better standard of living. We cannot continue to allow retirees to live like animals, like you see them sitting on the street, while in Europe, retirees are well treated and have people taking care of them. We want a Biafra where this moral value that has been bastardized, as you can see in the picture, will be respected and protected. Thank you, and let us continue.
I will tell you, I travel around the United States, and I have seen the Ukrainian flag fly in places most of you have probably never heard of in the United States.
The Biafra flag will be next. Ukrainian flag is flying most places where most of people didn't know they exist. And I just pray that we did not go to the point where the Biafra flag have to fly everywhere in America before our freedom will be given to us.
And storefronts.
Because it can be avoided by just requesting for referendum and everybody will vote. And after that, everybody will go to his house and answer his father's name.
In front of homes, Americans proudly wearing the colors of Ukraine. The American people are aware of the images of Bucha. The American people take great pride in a fight for independence.
American people take great pride in a fight for independence. I want you to understand that it is not only America that take great pride in a fight for independence. Biafra people are just as human beings as American people, and we have decided to emulate you by taking pride in the fight for independence. And this is not the independence of another country. We are not taking pride in fighting for independence of another country. Rather, we are taking pride now in the fight of our own independence, of our own life, of our own future. And we are appealing to you, if this comes to your table, because it is going to come, by the time Biafra succeed in stopping this particular fraud called election, it will come to your table. When it comes to your table, please remember that we want to emulate you by taking pride in fighting for freedom that is not for another people, but for ourselves and for our future. Please, this is a plea and appeal I am making to America and to the world, that America should not be the only country that will fight and get pride in fighting for freedom. We are not fighting for another country freedom. We are not taking pride in that. We don't have the capacity to do that yet, but at least we are taking pride, the Biafra people, in standing very tall against Nigeria to fight for our own freedom. And that's what we are starting from this year. And so this coming week may not be very funny to the world.
That being part of the foundation of our nation and our principles and values. I think about where the United States is going on this issue based on the track record of where we've been.
This is exactly the track record of where America has been. I am not here to talk against America, but we can see the track record in Afghanistan. We have seen the track record, okay? We've seen the track record in Libya. We've seen the track record in Iraq. We've seen the track record in Syria, okay? That is not to say that whatever they did that time was wrong, but it's a track record we are talking about, right? And we have been killed in millions. America supported it at some point. In the 60s, during Biafra War, we were killed. America, the world, watched how they starved us to death. And Biafra people, children, died in their millions. And that war has not ended. It still continues. The starvation has not ended. It still continues. So this particular broadcast today is going to be very short, so that the world will understand that we have a problem, and when this problem needs to be solved. We do not need to go into war to solve it. There is possibility that your action and not overlooking Africa will solve this problem without gun battle. But the point I'm trying to make today as a representative of Biafra people is that Biafra is also ready to go the round for the second time, if that is what it takes. Those people that are making comments on social media, they are just minority. They have access to the internet and they can make noise on social media. Those people following P2B and co, they just have access to the internet. They are ignorant of their own problem. And the majority of America did not agree for America to go to Afghanistan. There are opposition parties that did not accept American invasion in Iraq. There are opposition political parties that did not accept America going to invade Syria. There are opposition political parties and Americans, millions, that did not agree with Obama when Obama invaded Libya. It is normal. So the question here is that the majority of Biafra people want to leave Nigeria. So P2B, as a single person who does not have anything to offer, cannot be a distraction to whether our moral interests should be protected outside Nigeria or not, to know whether our future should be protected outside Nigeria or not. I want to send this thing, and I'm expecting that one day this whole thing will escalate if you people do not want to intervene and solve it now that it has not escalated. Because definitely, you know, freedom, everybody knows freedom is not given, it is taken. Just like the Ukrainians are taking their own by force against Russia, we are going to take our own also against Nigeria. And we are doing that already. It is important that this particular coming week, that Nigeria is planning to murder our people by deploying 400,000 policemen. These policemen are security agencies. Some of them are ex-Boko Haram members that they have recruited, rehabilitated according to them, and recruited into the system. And they are not coming to Biafra land to, you know, follow the rule of engagement or follow the rule of law. They are coming to kill. They are coming to cause chaos. They are coming to cause crisis. And the ignorant people will say, oh, you are the one causing it because you are agitating and fighting for your freedom. Is that a justification to come and start killing innocent people because Simon Ekpa is preaching the freedom of Biafra? Do you justify that? I want everybody to know that this message today must be caught and edited and shared and let it go to the world. We are going to broadcast it. Share it to all medias that you know, so they understand that we are not shaking. We are going to stand on our ground of no election, only referendum will be allowed in Biafra land. And next week, Biafra people are going to speak. We are going to speak in a very strong voice that will shock the world.
You only have to look at where we were a year ago and where we are today in terms of the contributions and resources that America has put into everything from ammunition to artillery to air defense.
Sometimes these ammunitions and defense goes into the wrong hand. I'm not talking about Ukraine, but I'm talking from the history. We have the same value system with America. Why are you not giving us arms to defend ourselves against terrorists and jihadist government? Why do you have to give arms to people that do not have the same faith with you? I'm not talking about Ukraine. And don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the past and previous investment of America in Arab countries. Why do you go to support Afghanistan Taliban? Why do you go to give arms to them? You don't have the same faith. You don't have the same cultural value system. You don't even have the same moral interest. Your moral interests are not the same. Why do you choose to fund and arm them, for whatever reason, and now we are now in a state of anarchy in our land against Nigeria? Nigeria state is coming and committing genocide in our land, killing us just because we want to demand our right to govern ourselves. We want to demand independence. Just want to enjoy, just like Ukraine has been. We want to do and live like the people in Europe. Is that a crime? The investment you can do that will benefit you will be the only investment America and Europe can do now is to support Biafra exit from Nigeria. We have the resources, we have the minerals, we have whatever you think, we have the brain. And working with Biafra people will be the best thing for global peace. For peace in Africa, for peace in the Sahel, so that the influx of immigrants from Africa, which is mainly being supplied by Nigeria, to Europe will reduce. Once that reduces, it will reduce the crime that Nigerians are committing all over the world. So it is for your interest. And I will, at this juncture, bring a video of this man who also lamented how the Boko Haram will take over Nigeria and will turn Nigeria, and they make Nigeria safe haven, and at the end of the day they are going to attack America. With the emergence of Biafra as a nation, they can never succeed in attacking America. So I want everybody to watch.
They're willing to cooperate because of that, because they know each other, because there's some tribal ties and engagements that allow them to work together, whereas in other parts of the world they have different objectives and a little bit different view, and so that tends to bring Islamic State and Al-Qaeda into conflict. Here they're able to overcome that, and that's what and work for a common purpose in their mind. Very good. I think long term, and we don't know when this will happen, but long term they want to establish themselves. They want to establish a caliphate, and they are willing. We know they have not only the desire but the will to attack the United States and the West.
You see, in the long time, they don't know when this is going to be. They don't know when this is going to be, but in the long time, they know that they're going to attack the United States and the West. I didn't say it. It is coming from a general who has been in the Sahel region. So let us listen to him again.
I think long term, and we don't know when this will happen, but long term they want to establish themselves. They want to establish a caliphate, and they are willing. We know they have not only the desire but the will to attack the United States and the West. When
they establish the caliphate, once they found Nigeria a safe haven, establish a caliphate, they are going to attack America and the West. That is what we are fighting for. You see? So when you disintegrate Nigeria, you have disintegrated this threat that is a futuristic threat that is posing to against America and the West. So I want everybody to understand that when we are fighting for our freedom, we are fighting for the safety of Europe and the safety of America. Because once they succeed in taking Nigeria, just like they take Afghanistan, that is the end. You are all going to be in hell, waiting for any day that the caliphate from Nigeria will come to Europe and attack you. They are going to be sponsoring terrorists into Europe, and it is going to happen, but we are going to stop them this year. And then let me bring also another video, because I don't want this video to be very long. I want this particular broadcast to be short, because the dimension have changed. Then after that, you have to also make sure that the jingles we played for about 30 minutes or so will be cut off from this broadcast, so the broadcast will be more shorter and straight to the point.
To recheck seating area.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to take your seats as we're preparing for the next session. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats now so we can prepare the room for the next session.
World for your Ukraine policy?
I think, should I start, my dear? Yeah. I think it is important that we're very clear about what this Russian war is. It is about Putin's imperialistic plans. And this is something where all of us, and mainly the global south, have a very, it is completely unacceptable. And countries on the other side have a bitter and long-standing experience. First, you send your negotiators in, then you send, they see that the experts are being sent in, and then it's the mercenaries that are being sent in. So what we have to do is not only explain that we will never ever accept this imperialistic war, we will never ever accept that Putin is trampling on the international law that protects all of us, that the UN Charter, that is also in the interest, I mean, it's in the interest of every single country, is being treated so disrespectful, and that we will never accept that today you can send tanks just across the border to invade a country.
And I want to also remind the European Union that everything that they have said here, the Nigerian government has done it in Biafra land. The Nigerian government has breached and violated all available international law. They have committed extraordinary rendition, kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya because Africa is corrupt and nobody is talking. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, and they kidnap him from Kenya, rendition him, torture him for 8 days, subject him to all manner of degrading treatment and human rights abuse and torture, and sent him to Nigeria and incarcerated him. It didn't end there. I want to inform the European Union that in addition to this, the United Nations Arbitrary Committee on against torture and arbitrary detention also have issued ultimatum to the Nigeria state to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu within 6 months and compensate him. 6 months has expired. Nigeria violated that particular directive from the United Nations. I want to inform Europe that Nigeria government have committed as worse crime than Russia Putin against the Biafra people. The only difference here is that Biafra at this day is still within the Nigeria state, and they are sending the military and tanks to Biafra land within Nigeria to kill their own citizens. The difference here is that while Putin is sending military tanks across border, Nigeria is sending military tanks within its own border as Nigeria state, and they are killing their own citizens and nobody is talking. So I want the Europe to understand that Nigeria state has committed worse crime. The number of deaths being recorded in Nigeria every day outnumber 100 times the number of deaths being recorded in Ukraine, with all the military strike and the tanks that Russia is sending to Ukraine. So I want this particular record to be very straight, that impunity, civil war is ongoing in Nigeria, and the Biafra people cannot take it anymore. And we do not want to be part of a country like that again. There is no plan for development. There is no plan for innovative future in Nigeria. Everything is going down, and their plan is just to Islamize us and turn us into caliphate. And we are not going to accept that kind of arrangement. You cannot force us to change our faith from Christian to caliphate, to Muslims. We are not Muslims. We are very, very different people. Our cultures are different, languages are different, everything is different. So, and this particular issue that is happening today, the crisis in Nigeria, is a long time coming. It's a history that we have. We cannot continue to overlook this historic mistake and miscarriage of justice against the Biafra people, and we are going to go into the poll this coming week to validate Nigeria again. So we are putting this to the notice to the Americans, to Europeans, to understand that we are also human beings fighting for our future, fighting for right to live, fighting for right to existence, fighting for the right to practice our faith and religion, fighting for the right to participate in a democratic process that is globally acceptable. And the democratic process starts by allowing the people to choose how they want to live their life freely. And if you cannot allow them to choose, then you are inviting anarchy, and they have to revolt against the system. And that is happening already. So let us continue.
And this is something which my experience in the last 12 months needs a lot of just work, to work together with the Global South, to make understood our point of view, but also to work with them on dealing with the knock-on effect of this atrocious war. This is the food crisis. This is the energy crisis. And that we do our utmost to deal with the knock-on effects in a way that the Global South does not suffer too much from Putin's war of aggression. This is our task. It's hard work, but it's absolutely worth it.
Prime Minister Marin, somebody as cult a hero around the world as President Lula of Brazil also doesn't believe in the intervention that you all have taken in NATO against, as you described, the illegal invasion of one country by a bigger country. So, as Commissioner von der Leyen says, we will never support this. We understand their historic issues. How do you see?
Now, this is another comment from another country president that they will never support this, that they understand the historical issue. The question I want to ask to America, to Europe today, what do you know about Nigeria historical issues? What do you know? How conversant are you with the Nigeria historical issues? How conversant are you with the formation of Nigeria? How conversant are you with the Biafra plight in Nigeria? How conversant are you with all these historical issues about Nigeria, and how do you intend to deal with it? Because it is all about now a historical, that they know historical issues. So I hope that you are all aware of the historical issues when it comes to Nigeria, because from next week, it is going to be an escalation. And that escalation will definitely call your attention that you start talking about it. So I hope that when this time comes, you are going to know the historical issues of Nigeria, because the discussion will be coming from that particular perspective, the historical issue in Nigeria. Very, very important. Right, let us continue.
Trying to convince others of the justness of your cause.
The war in Ukraine, it's not only an issue for Europe, it's the issue for the whole world. And that's because there's a war of values going on. Authoritarian.
Exactly the same thing, my Prime Minister. What we are fighting for has become the fight for value. Everything has to do with value system. Now, do you have the same value system with the caliphate? The answer is no. Do you have the same value system with the jihadists? The answer is no. The only people that you have the same value system with are the Igbos, are the Biafrans, are the Efiks, are all the other ethnic groups that comprise the Biafra people. These are the people that you have the same value system with. You do not have value system with the Fulanis, with the nomadic terrorists. You do not have the same value system with this jihadist. You do not have the same value system with the Taliban of Nigeria. So you have the same value system with us. And it is the same clash of interests that have subjugated us into this slavery by mistake because of the British interest. Britain left European Union and they voted, and a lot of people in Britain voted against leaving the European Union. The same thing is happening in Biafra today. Some people, if you ask them question, Are you sitting at home? No, I'm not sitting at home because I want Biafra. They are forcing me. But you want Biafra? Yes. The same thing is happening in Europe. The same thing has happened to the United Kingdom. The same thing will continue to happen. And it is normal in democracy. Some people will agree, some people will not agree. But at the end of the day, the majority carries the vote. During the time the United Kingdom was exiting the European Union, a lot of people in the United Kingdom objected it. Even till today, some people are still objecting it, that it was not the right decision to do. Yet, they exited. We are asking to have the same right of existence, that we respect our right and our value. Why I'm making this broadcast today is that it is going to go down in history. In the next coming week, it will be unbelievable. And your attention must be called when the time comes next week. So you have to learn to respect our own value and our own right to protect that particular value system, the interest that follows it. That's all I'm preaching. And that's why I have invested and sacrificed my life, put my life in danger to make sure that I educate my people that they have a choice. They have a choice not to validate Nigeria this coming weekend. And they have agreed that they are not going to validate Nigeria. So if Nigeria is bringing security agents to kill us like they do in the past, we have already arms, which we have been using to defend ourselves. We are going to defend the land of Biafra. And it will not end well.
Countries are raising their heads. They are raising their heads against the international rule-based order. And this is a problem for everyone. When Russia attacked Ukraine, it violated all the rules, all the agreements it has itself been committed to before.
Exactly the same thing. When Nigeria went to Kenya to kidnap a British citizen who happened to come from Biafra land, they violated every international agreement. When Nigeria refused to obey United Nations Arbitrary Committee, they violated the international law. A violation of the law is a violation of the law. Law is law. Violation of international treaty, violation of international instrument, violation of international agreements is a violation of international agreement. Cross-border crime. A cross-border crime is a cross-border crime. Nigeria have committed that crime. Nigeria have disobeyed the United Nations. They have no regard to international agreement. They have no regard to international law. And we cannot choose to continue to live a life like that. So we want to enjoy the same right, just like every one of you in the European Union.
And this is a problem for everyone, because then we will only see decades of this kind of behavior ahead of us if Ukraine doesn't win the war and if we don't stand behind our values and the international rule-based order. So I think
that is it. Ukraine is definitely going to win the war because they are fighting for their right. So they are definitely going to win the war. But we are also standing behind our value. Our prime minister, a very, very brilliant lady, she is speaking the mind, just like, in an average film. They pour out their heart when they talk. So she's speaking it the way it is. We stand strongly, behind our value system. And that is what is driving and propelling Simon Ekpa to do what he is doing today. And I'm not going to stop. Rather, I am increasing the tempo. This fire is increasing. And by tomorrow, from tomorrow going forward, the fire will go to the highest degree because I am standing very strongly behind my values, which is not the same with the caliphate that are ruling Nigeria and the bandits that are ruling Nigeria.
This is a larger issue than just issue for Europe, just issue for Ukraine. And we have to do utmost to make sure that Ukraine will win and that we will preserve this system of rules that we have created together. And there was a reason why this was created. The wars before, world wars that we have seen, and it was devastating.
Yeah.
And that's why we built a system where we can negotiate, where we can build peace.
Exactly. The reason all these things were, put in place, NATO, United Nations, is because of the devastated war that were fought. So the world came together to look for a way to negotiate for peace. Today, there is still that opportunity to negotiate for peace in Nigeria. And the only thing that will bring this peace in Nigeria is this particular disintegration, to disintegrate these our differences. Is that too much to ask? That is the work of the United Nations. The crisis in Nigeria, the terrorism in Nigeria that is being funded by a particular region from the north, have to end. How do you end it? Look at what is the cause of this terrorism in Nigeria? The cause is that the jihadists, the caliphate, want to take over Nigeria. In case you do not know the reason why they want to take over Nigeria, I want to bring it to the table, because we need to know the causes of what is happening. I want everybody to pay attention to this particular video. Now, why are we, why is this issue of disintegration of Nigeria have to happen? And why should the United Nations intervene? The reason is here.
Hello and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Boko Haram has been terrorizing Nigeria's Christian community for years now, victimizing those who would stand in the group's way of creating an Islamic State. Christian Solidarity International is on the ground in Nigeria, working with victims to give them support they need. Franco Mayok is the program manager of Nigeria's projects and joins me now to explain the religious tensions smoldering in this region. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
You know, the interesting thing about Boko Haram, which I didn't know before, is that they really come out of Sudan. And we know the strife that was in Sudan, where they broke the country in two. So explain where they come from.
Well, I can put it this way. Nigeria, after independence, the first two missions they have, one was in London and one was in New York. The third mission after that was in Sudan. And there is a reason for that. Sudan is the shortcut to Mecca. Someone from Nigeria, they go through Chad and go to Sudan and then go to the Mecca for the pilgrim.
The Mecca, to go to Mecca,
yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there are a lot of Nigerians who go to Sudan on the way to Mecca. Mm-hmm. And when they come back and they're poor, they stay there. Mm-hmm. And Sudan become their own country. Now, when the Islamic government come to Sudan in 1998, and their agenda was to Islamize Sudan in general, they were working with Nigerians. They were working with Osama bin Laden. When Osama bin Laden was pushed out from Sudan, he took with him one group of the terror, and then another group left in Sudan, and the third group was sent out to disturb the neighboring country. Part of those groups were Boko Haram, who were sent to Nigeria. And the idea is Sudan believed that the people who are ruling Nigeria now are not extremely enough, like the way it used to be. So the Boko Haram, people who start Boko Haram, they did the training in Khartoum with Osama bin Laden, and then they were sent to Nigeria.
I hope you are listening. And one of the person who is the founder of this Boko Haram now is running to become the vice president of Tinubu. And in a such system, when this information is out there and it's a fact, he still have that right to participate in a democratic process. So how do you justify, that you want us to go into a poll, into a democratic process where a founder of a terrorist group is running to become the vice president? Is that the kind of country you want to be part of? Because even if he did not succeed in becoming the vice president, he still have a very much influence in the system. How should we continue to be like that? So I want everybody to understand where the problem of Nigeria is coming from, and of course, the kind of dangerous diversity that we have, and we must make sure that this diversity is disintegrated for peace. And this is where European Union, who knows the importance of NATO and the United Nations, should step in and understand that the purpose of forming this organization is for global peace. and for global peace, and for peace to come to Nigeria and Sahel and West Africa, Nigeria needs to be dissolved. People should be given the opportunity to vote and participate in a true democratic process called the referendum.
So there's all Al-Qaeda ties.
It's all Al-Qaeda. Boko Haram is the Taliban of Nigeria.
Boko Haram is the Taliban of Nigeria. And today, Afghanistan, Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, and they are now planning how to take over the Nigeria because they have infiltrated all the security agencies in Nigeria.
This is the way I can put it.
Who are these people that become members of Boko Haram? Who are they? Are they disenfranchised? Or are they educated? Or are they unemployed? Who are they?
These are coming from the two tribes in Nigeria, Fulani and Hausa tribe. Those are Muslim. And you can see in Nigeria, bordering to Chad, there is a state called Borno.
Mm-hmm.
Those people, it's easy for them to cross to Chad and go to Sudan and go to the Makkah. And when they come back, in 1998, the Sudan government opened up the scholarship for the young Nigerian to go for education. But those people were sent to the training camp to be terror. So they are the young Nigerian who are educated, who go to Sudan and they pretend they are going for a scholarship, and they were trained there and then sent back to Nigeria.
And these are the Boko Haram?
And those are the Boko Haram members.
From January 2012 to July of 2013, Boko Haram bombed, burned, or attacked 50 churches, killing at least 366. Why are they going after Christians?
They believe that they should be the one to rule the Nigeria, especially when Goodluck Johnson, the president, who is the president of Nigeria currently, is a Christian from the south. And I think that set them off, that how could the Christian be a president in the country where there is a Muslim? They believe that.
Now, that is the problem. That, make them kick off. How could a Christian be president in a country, in Nigeria, where there are Muslims? Now, these people are shouting P2B, P2B, P2B. And what happened to Goodluck Jonathan? P2B own. Of course, that is not even happening, but just to tell you that it will be worse, if not what we are doing today. It will be worse because the same Boko Haram is there. Shetima is there. All the people that are funding Boko Haram, they are very, very intact in Nigeria. And so, if you renew this agreement, you are going to have worse situation than what they did to Jonathan. They will destabilize the country, and you are going to be a slave for a very long time. And we don't want to follow your stupid self into this particular stupid decision. That's why majority of Biafra have decided that coming week, nobody will go out to vote in Biafra land. I want you people to listen to what has happened to you before. You are going to do something to renew it again so that it will happen to you the second time. And the second time, you may not survive it.
The country should be ruled by Sharia law. And if you can see to Nigeria, the 12 states in the north, they apply the Sharia law in the country. Even though there are minority Muslims who live with them, Christian, but still they apply the Sharia law. So to them is that they should take all the Nigerian to be ruled by Islamic law. So
are you hearing that? The agenda is to take all the Nigerians to be ruled by Islamic law. That is the reason why in all political parties, they fixed themselves. In PDP, they are the presidential candidate. In APC, they are the vice presidential candidate. In Labour Party, they are the vice presidential candidate. They have succeeded in fixing themselves in all the political parties. Just whoever win, it is a win for them. Whoever lose is a win for them. How do you continue in a country like that? I just want the European Union to understand in case they pretend not to know.
Not use violence against each other, wars, attack another country to make a stand or gain something.
And to that end, when you came into office, as early as this time last year, you were saying that Finland would not want to join NATO. And then a month later was the invasion. And now, obviously, you're trying to join NATO. There is a little bit of a kerfuffle with Turkey deciding whether it's going to approve or not. We understood from the Secretary General of NATO that maybe now there will be separate tracks. Do you expect to join NATO separately, or are you committed to trying to join it together with Sweden?
When the war started 24th of February last year, and now we're heading towards very sad anniversary, 1-year anniversary of the war just next week, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. The Finnish mindset, the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent, we are secure, we have a sovereign country, we can make our own decisions.
Are you hearing it? The most important thing for Finnish people is that we are independent, we are secured, we can make our own decision. And you can see that in my life today. You can see that in my life. I am also a Finnish person. And I want to bring this particular life back to my people. So we don't become dependent, on any nation. The reason I want to bring this video to you today is for you to understand that when I say I am made in Biafra, nurtured in Finland, and also trained in Finland, is that I did not just live in this country like a Nigerian, because I can't be proud to live even when I have not joined Biafra. Proud to be living in a country as a Nigerian. If you live in a country as a Nigerian, you are a criminal, because Nigeria, what they do is to commit crime. I didn't live in this country as a Nigerian. I live in this country, and I integrated, and the system assimilated into me. So I want you to look at and listen to what our Prime Minister is saying about the thing, and you understand from where you understand why I am pain in the ass of whoever that has tampered with the security, with the freedom of my people. Now you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if you think that you are going to force me to step down on what I'm doing, my brother, I said I am nurtured in Finland. And I want to play it again for you to understand. That is what we call the value system. The value system.
Whether it's going to approve or not. We understood from the Secretary General of NATO that maybe now there will be separate tracks. Do you expect to join NATO separately, or are you committed to trying to join it together with Sweden?
When the war started 24th of February last year, and now we're heading towards very sad anniversary, 1-year anniversary of the war just next week, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. The Finnish mindset, the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent.
The most important thing for Finnish people is that we are independent.
Secure.
We are secure.
We have a sovereign country.
We have a sovereign country where we can make our own decision.
Make our own decisions. This is the number one issue for Finnish people.
Do you understand that? And this particular Finnish people way of thinking have entered me, and I want to use it to save my own people.
And when Russia, our neighbor, attacked another neighbor, Ukraine, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO, because that's the line, that's the only line that Russia wouldn't cross. So
are you hearing that? I want to take this back again, because you need to know that we are not thinking the same.
Finland will join NATO. It was obvious at the same day when Russia attacked Ukraine. Means that the most important thing for Finnish people is to make sure that we are independent, we are secure, we have a sovereign country, we can make our own decisions. This is the number one issue for Finnish people. And when Russia, our neighbor attacked another neighbor, Ukraine, it was obvious that Finland will join NATO, because that's the line, that's the only line that Russia wouldn't cross. So it's to do with our security, it's to do with peace. It's an act of peace for Finland to join NATO. We have sent very clear message. We want to join together with Sweden at the same time. It's not only because we are good neighbors and good partners. It's also to do with very concrete matters. The security planning of NATO in the whole north, it's in interest of us, but it's also in the interest of NATO that Finland and Sweden will join simultaneously. And we have sent very clear signal and very clear message to Turkey and also to Hungary that hasn't ratified yet, that we want to enter NATO together, and this is in the interest of everyone.
So you see, this is what civilization is all about. As I am here now, lecturing you, creating this awareness to understand why Simon Ekpa is doing what he's doing, the caliphate, the representative of the caliphate called Garoba, Adamu Garoba, was on Russia TV, you know, because you know that it's like the TV is they are working together. There was a Russia TV demanding the arrest of Simon Ekpa, demanding arrest of Simon Ekpa for fighting for this right. You know, the Fulani man, the terrorist representative in Nigeria called Adamu Garoba, was on RT, Russia TV, demanding the arrest of Simon Ekpa, you know, from Russia TV. You know, I just see that he posted it on his Facebook page, you know, saying that he said that I was on Russia TV to discuss on the threat of election disruption in the southeast by terrorist Simon Ekpa. He is the one that is a terrorist. And I used the opportunity to further demand for the Ekpa arrest. This is somebody who is in Nigeria funding terrorism, funding the invasion of our land, and turn around and go to the Russian TV, you know, because they have access there. You know, they give them money, you know, freely. They have access to go to the Russian TV to broadcast and make their nonsense announcement. But here we are discussing civilization. We're discussing freedom. We're discussing value system, which these people in Nigeria don't know. They don't know what is value. They don't know what is value system. And we are bringing it to our own nation. We want to live like them. We want to be better than these people. And we are not going back.
The Nigeria Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday summoned the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Lina Filbaninian, over Simon Ekpa's latest remarks to obstruct the 2023 general election in southeast Nigeria. The ministry, who spoke through its representative, Zubairu Dada, called on the Finnish ambassador to stop Ekpa from inciting violence in Nigeria from Finland with regards to the upcoming general elections. In the statement, which read in part, Dada said, "We have had some time to ensure that we arrest the situation, but it appears the situation is getting out of hand, and we are saying enough is enough. We should let you know, in very strong terms, that it is high time you really back Nigeria with the quest that something is done immediately because it threatens the forthcoming elections." Zubairu Dada further stated that the threat that Simon Ekpa posed toward the upcoming election is very high due to the large number of supporters he commands in Nigeria. This, in essence, is why we thought it was important for us to have the discussion with you so as to let you know our concerns and the displeasure of the governments of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria on this very unhealthy development. While alluding to the fears and concern raised by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria against activities of Simon Ekpa, the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria said, "This is an issue we have been discussing. We share the concerns, we have discussed the matter, and as I mentioned, our law enforcement agencies are in touch and are cooperating. Also, is a double citizen, as far as I know, of Nigeria and Finland, and is therefore, as you rightly said, protected and safe and sound in his home in Finland. But we have to take his rights into consideration as well. So everything has to obviously be done according to Finnish legislation, which has very strong protections for freedom of speech."
And while this was going on, this is what we get in Nigeria state due to
Nigeria on a daily basis witness the impunity which is so-called Fulani herdsmen extremists who shared ethnic and religious identity with President Buhari and the Fulani elite, which now dominates all key institutions in Nigeria.
To open an investigation specifically into the wide-scale and systematic killing of the civilian population, and most notably targeting the indigenous people of Biafra.
Clear that now we've put the Biafran issue on the radar screen of the government, of the Biden administration, of Congress.
Ongoing and wide-scale systematic killing of the civilian population, and again, specifically targeting the IPOB.
Of weapons being used against Biafrans, but affirmatively supporting an effort to have an independence referendum organized and conducted by the United Nations, as we've done in South Sudan.
They formally open an investigation and look into what we are identifying as a genocide that's being committed by the Nigerian government and extremist Fulanis against the indigenous people of Biafra.
There's been nothing in experience since 1960 to suggest there simply is not a way, given the history of division between the Fulani and the Biafrans, to think that they can coexist under a single sovereign roof.
Yeah. While this was going on, this is what the Ohaneze, the corrupt and criminal Ohaneze is doing. Sit-at-home order. Ohaneze increased bounty on Simon Ekpa from $50,000 to $100,000. This is what they are doing. When I am fighting for the freedom of my people, when I am fighting to protect the life and properties of my people, those who are hell-bent and their only interest is to make money and how to loot the money and enrich themselves, and they don't care about the atrocities that the Nigeria state is committing against our people. They don't care anything. They don't care about them. The only thing they care is to conduct election so that they can have appointment, so that they can become ministers, so that they can be intimidating the people with their military and convoy, so that they will begin to order military invasion of villages. This is what they do. And yet, they are walking freely in Biafra land. They understand the wickedness of the people. But you see, when the revolution comes, it is going to wipe away all these evil people in our land. And the revolution is coming. It is going to start. And you see that the revolution is already there. I want you all to listen and let us continue.
So no change then, even if some country wants to hold up?
Of course, we cannot influence and affect how some country would ratify. It's their decision. But our message is that we are willing to join, and we prefer and want to join together.
Mm-hmm. You see, it is the same thing when you notice that you are under threat, you try to prevent it, okay? Our own is that we are already in the threat. We have found ourselves in the web of this threat, and we want to exit. And the only way to exit from this particular doom that is coming is by referendum or by forceful exit through declaration. And Biafra people are ready to do that. So I want you to understand that our fight is genuine and we are not going to back down. In addition to all the things I've said today, remember that European Union have said that Russia have violated all the laws. And I want to also draw similarity to the Nigeria state, how Nigeria state have violated their own laws and also their own promise made immediately after the Biafra Nigeria genocidal war. And I want you to listen to how this war and how this promise were violated against the Biafra people.
The tragic chapter of violence is just ended. We are at the dawn of national reconciliation. Once again, we have an opportunity to build a new nation. But we have Colonel Obasanjo, who is the commander of 3 Marine Commando, who have been able to capture a number of senior secessionist officers, and he had brought them to Lagos to see us in order to let us have the acceptance of
the spirit of one Nigeria.
And I would like, therefore, to take this opportunity to say that I, Major General Philip Effiong, officer administering the government of the Republic of Biafra, now wish to make the following declaration: that the Republic of Biafra hereby ceases to exist.
Hello.
Your Excellency.
Glad to see you again.
My pleasure.
How are you?
Very well indeed.
Glad to see you again. Thank you.
Patrick Amadi.
How are you?
Excellency.
Glad to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Glad to see you again.
It's an experience.
Honestly.
Now, I want you to understand that he said that I have started the process of reconciliation. That never happened. Nigeria betrayed that particular, violated that particular promise.
The tragic chapter of violence is just ended. We are at the dawn of national reconciliation.
They are at the dawn of national reconciliation. National reconciliation never happened till today. They have killed us in millions. And we are now saying that we cannot continue to watch you kill us again, and we must not validate you again this year. Over 60 years, you said you are on the national reconciliation, yet you deploy military to our land to bomb us and kill us. And we are saying we will not validate you again. We are ready to fight once and for all, and we'll fight again and again. Because this time around, there is social media. And social media is making the huge difference. Because the social media, without the social media, Finland will not be talking what they are talking today. Without the social media, Europe will not be hearing what they are hearing today. In the 60s, when you were killing us, nobody knew what was going on. You made a blockade, connived with the British government to starve Biafra people to death. And millions of children were dying, and nobody knew what was going on. Today, we are here with social media, and we have exposed your impunity, your criminality to the world, and the world have come to know you. They know how you sponsor terrorism. They know how you blackmail us by coming out to kill people during our sit at home and blame it on us. And yet, it did not stop us from still ordering the sit at home that we have been ordering every day. So on this note, we are going to bring the broadcast to an end, and we are going to receive call. So if you receive call that we open the line, you can call us and give us your opinion or feedback on the broadcast and the exposition or the analysis we have done today, drawing comparison with the Ukraine crisis and from the Munich Security Conference in Germany. Thank you very much. And the phone number and the phone line is open for your call. And this calling is going to last for the next 30 minutes or so, and we call it a day. Thank you very much. 1 minute per person. And we move. You're welcome.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
I want you to understand that today it is very, very clear that the criminals that have been expelled, betrayed Biafra to the highest. They betrayed Onyendu to the highest. You can imagine where the criminal called Emma had the opportunity to tell Finnish journalists about Biafra, to tell Finnish journalists about the plight of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to tell Finnish journalists why Biafra people are sitting at home every Monday. He left that and started blackmailing Simon Ekpa, that Simon Ekpa is not IPOB member. Simon Ekpa is not this. Simon Ekpa is not that. They have told Simon Ekpa to go and open his own movement because it is entrepreneurship to them. That career, they have told Simon Ekpa to go and open his own movement. Simon Ekpa did not listen and all that. And they thought that, and he thought that after saying that, the Finnish journalists will begin to blackmail me with it. No, they draw a conclusion from that. It didn't affect me. Okay, they draw a conclusion. They say that the position of Simon Ekpa is not clear. But what they know is that Biafrans listening to Simon Ekpa. So who do? You are a failure. You have failed. I have defeated all of you since 1.5 years, and I will continue to defeat you anywhere, any day, anytime. And you people have been defeated, and you can never rise up again. Yet, because of that, I have released the memo. The memo I released, which was a memo of Onyendu, forbidding you people from responding to me. But what did you do? They were responding and attacking me and blackmailing me just to show the hatred for Onyendu. And today, this is where we are. Onyendu say, you are forbidden from responding to Simon Ekpa, no matter what. It is still the #1 in the commandment. The commandment of Onyendu, #1 commandment, do not respond to Simon Ekpa, no matter what. Did you obey it? No. You have betrayed Onyendu, but Onyendu have defeated all of you in us. In us, he has defeated all of you. You are all unbelievable. You slander my name, called me names, called me all manner of names. That thing in Finland, nobody. This one. This one, that one. No, Alevaro Okoro, that number 11 is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. So that's why it is covered. So forget it. If it is something very important, of course, you know I cannot hide it. It is not important. It is irrelevant. It is very, very irrelevant. So that's why it is covered. It's irrelevant. If it is something that will help the struggle, I will make it public, of course. So now the reason why I make the #1 public is because this idiot, instead of talking about Biafra, he went and started talking about Simon Ekpa. Somebody traveled all the way from Finland to come to Biafra land for fact finding. This guy have opportunity to tell Biafra problem. He began to talk about Simon Ekpa, how Simon Ekpa is not an happy man. You're welcome to the program. Hello? Hello? Let me connect. You're welcome to the program. Please, can you listen to the phone, please?
Hello, Simon. Good evening.
Good evening from here. Go ahead, please.
Yes, please. Very quickly. Thank you, man. You are a strong man. I remove my cap for you, and I pray for you every time. Anyway, very quickly. It is just astonishing how our people could be so mean. A people that have been killed for 60 years.
Yes.
Now, I remember since 2011, hundreds of thousands of our people have been killed in the north. I'm sure that every Igbo man has, in one way or another, been affected by the killing that have gone on over the years.
Yes.
And these people brought the killing to our land. From issues or to Ihamufu to Abakaliki to Olu to everywhere.
Yes.
And just within few months, the people who say they want to vote Obi, they have all forgotten all this.
Completely.
They have forgotten all this. Now, you joined IPOB when? 2019. Now, I remember, people have just forgotten that Nnamdi Kanu launched ESN just about a year. I can't remember the exact day he launched ESN. But before he launched ESN, IPOB was a non-violent organization.
Yes.
They were just carrying flags, marching on the street.
And
they were getting killed. Hundreds of people were massacred at Onitsha. Just carrying ordinary flag. Simon Ekpa was not there. There was no ESN. IPOB was not, violent. And at our back, where people were praying, even at Onitsha, the soldiers went into the church where people were praying at Onitsha and massacred people. Yes. Simon, do you know, during the massacre at Onitsha, do you know that the soldiers were also carrying acid? There was a guy I personally sent this guy 50,000 naira when I saw a video, video of this guy on Facebook. Do you know that the soldiers shot this guy at Onitsha? The guy fell into the gutter. They carried acid and poured on this guy. Do you know what? The flesh in the entire leg of this guy got, in fact, disappeared. You could only see the vein. I have never seen such thing in my life. I have never seen such. Now, these were the atrocity soldiers, and our people, they have not even. It's so shocking that even IPOB members could forget all this. Sorry. Anyway, I'm not going to go far, but I only want to remind our people. I tell people, I say, God forbid that Simon fails. God forbid that this journey, that we don't get to where we're going to. Because it's better imagined. It's just better imagine what will befall our people. But I pray and I hope that God will continue to strengthen you and we will surely get there. So, but it is good, Simon, finally, please, you always remind them when they are shouting about sit at home. The reason sit at home was imbibed was because when our people do peaceful protest, they get massacred. Yes. And sit at home was imbibed because it saves lives. That's why people were asked to sit at home, because people get killed when they come out. And even now that you order sit at home because you want to save life, they still kill people. Exactly. Now, when people were killed at Onitsha, was there any election? There was no election. Yes. Simon, let me stop here and give other people a chance.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, my brother, and I pray that God continue to strengthen you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll continue, and we want reasonable comments like this. Very important. You're welcome to the program. Hello. You're welcome to the program. Hello. 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 All right, it's not caught talking. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moses.
Yes.
I just want to commend you and to tell you to increase the tempo.
Thank you.
Continue with what you are doing. I just listened to Adamu interview with anger. And if you look at the piece of journalism that they are doing, you will see checkmate.
Yes.
During the interview, they were playing a video of the currency protest.
Yes, yes. Let them continue. We know.
Trying to use it. Yes. They are trying to use that protest as if it was incitement from IPOB.
Yes.
So you see the deception of what is going on.
Yeah, let them continue.
I think what is about to happen now is about Russia wants to use their fight with Ukraine to attack other European countries to say, oh, they are. So I think they are taking sides here.
Well, we are going to see how it goes. Let them continue now.
Yes, the whole world is watching. Look, imagine them interviewing a terrorist. They didn't check the background of Adamu.
Yes.
Adamu is a man that openly said Boko Haram are freedom fighters of the North.
Yes.
Adamu is the one that tweeted in support of the lynching of a Christian
girl. Yes, yes.
That's the man they are interviewing. A terrorist.
That's why they banned the RT in Europe now.
Yes, a terrorist calling a freedom fighter a terrorist. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Yes, it is getting interesting now because they were joking. They thought we were joking before. Now they are now running kata going from one television to another to demand the Simon Ekpa arrest. I didn't see it coming. I thought that we were saying that we are just social media noisemakers. It is no longer social media, right? Hello? It is no longer social media noise making. Hello?
Hello?
You're welcome to the program.
Simon.
No. No.
No. This is Marshall. Okay, lucky.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the last speaker said, you need to increase the tempo. But I want to make a comment about this Yema Powerless. What he did is beyond sabotage.
Yes.
It is beyond abomination. And it could be likened to an act of treason against his people.
Yes.
You understand? I want to tell you, Maji Simon, that this kind of behavior, I don't know what you think.
Well, don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. We are now, this whole discussion now is, is at the highest level. So we have to be very reasonable. You understand? But when we go to that road, we'll cross it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what I'm equally saying here is that you understand, I equally saw his post in Vanguard, and that's when equally he came out again. Was a direct indictment of autopiloters.
Yes.
And this kind of thing should not be happening.
Yes.
You understand? And that is why I like what you are doing today. You understand? We need to equally double the aggression in truncating.
Of course, of course. They should watch and see. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
While they are saying it's online country, they are running mad. It's no longer online country, Alenora. It's no longer online country. They are going to Russian news now to talk about it. I was thinking that they say Biafra is online country. I did not know that. I don't know when we graduated from online country to the reality, become a real country, because this one that they are going to Russia. All right, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, Simon Ekpa.
Good evening from
Angel. I'm calling from London.
You're welcome.
And I just wanted to comment, but first of all, I want to say thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your faithfulness and diligence.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking us through.
Thank you.
We saw the list today, and I was saying we will not reinstate those that have betrayed us, because we cannot allow the rotten apple inside the good basket that we will be taking into our new nation. So if they have betrayed us on this journey, we're only merciful not to ask to take their life, because we're not God. But we do not want them in our midst.
Again.
So we will disobey Onyendu and we will not reinstate them. They must go. For peace to reign and for you to take us through peacefully and successfully.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say good evening to all my dear fans family. Thank you for all of us listening to Simon Ekpa and knowing where we are going and what we truly want in life.
Yes.
No more going back. This is it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very straight one. We continue. People are getting the message now. You see, only the truth will stand the test of time. The time for lies, you can't lie, and you cannot continue to lie all the time and continue to deceive people. One day, your lies will end, and today, the lies of the criminals have ended, and the truth is out. The truth is here. The truth is here. You're welcome to the program. Hello.
Hello.
You're welcome to the program.
Yes. My name is Timothy from Atlanta, US.
All right.
I'm talking to Simon Ekpa.
You are talking to Simon Ekpa. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, Mr. Simon. I want to thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you.
God will bless you and reward you as we look forward to the weekend when we become a new nation.
Yes.
I spoke to some of my brothers in the East last week. Is this the live program?
This is a live program, yes.
Okay, what I'm saying on television is just for what I'm hearing from you, and I'm not
Yeah, because it's a little bit probably some kind of delay. So don't look at the television. Talk to me on the phone.
Okay. So what I understand is that the information is not well, distributed in the East. These guys, they also plan to come out to vote. Obviously, they have not had the reason why they should not come out to vote.
You tell them the reason now. If they have not had the reason, you tell them the reason. That is why we are spreading the message. It's not just about me. So if you have the opportunity to talk to people and they don't know the reason, you tell them the reason, and they will pass the information to other people as well.
I did. The only point is they have no idea that the reason why they should come to vote is that they cannot design the government.
Yes.
This guy was talking to not understand the reason why. But when it comes out to vote on that very day, he's supporting Nigerian government.
Anyway, so I am yes, and I am asking our media team to make jingle immediately, to release jingle immediately. We need a jingle for this no election and the demand for referendum and no election in Biafra land. We need a jingle. We need jingle for the sit at home. We need that jingle to release tomorrow. Media team, please take notes.
You cannot vote. I cannot say one of this Nigeria, and at that time you are voting to be a part of Nigeria. You couldn't believe it. So,
yeah, they don't. These are people that doesn't have brain. Just forget about them. They know that nobody is coming out from the 23rd in Biafra land. So we gave them 2 days ahead of time. All right. You're welcome to the program. Hello. You're welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening from here.
Yes, sir. It is my first time of greeting you. Thank you for getting me on the line today.
You're welcome.
My name is Frank Schofield.
Okay.
I'm calling from Ghana.
You're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Go ahead. Talk to the phone.
Okay. Sir, I want to appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the good work you have been doing for us.
Thank you.
You have done so much. You have really motivated some of us who think or who believe, who felt you have lost it completely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I just tried today to see if I can get you on the line. And I am so much happy for what you have done. My community from my mom's place, we had a boundary with the Amuku, and a lot has happened within those areas. We're under Ikelu North local government level state, and a lot of things have happened within our area. Nobody is speaking for us. But thank God for your arrival. You have saved a lot of lives, a lot of future for us.
Thank you.
And really, we appreciate all your good work.
We thank God.
We are standing by you, sir. Whatever it will cost us, I've told them within my own locality, I've told them whatever is going to cost us, please personally make sure we earn our freedom. I am ready for it. So thank you so much, sir, for all that you have done for us and my people. The people will never, ever forget your name, sir. Your name will be written in gold forever in our life and in our heart, in our land. Biafra land will place your name on gold forever and ever for what you have done for us. The freedom, the opportunity that everyone in the world never gives to us, and we are giving it to us. The freedom that you have brought to our land, you will always be remembered for this. Thank you so much, sir,
for what you have done. I don't want to take much time so I can allow other people to exercise their own feelings for what you are doing for us. We are so much grateful. We are so much honored. We are so much blessed to have someone like you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Grateful, and I appreciate all that you have done for me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now we have ended the course. Please, I really appeal that nobody should call me again. Now, please, very, very important. There is a special announcement. There is a special announcement this evening. Please, everybody should stop calling. Everybody should stop calling. There is a special announcement this evening. The Biafra people want to make the following announcement. As we are entering a very different phase of the Biafra liberation, there will be no amount of ethnic or communal clash anywhere in Biafra land. We know that some of the communal clashes are being politically motivated, being sponsored by the governors. So there are communities that I want to specifically send a very strong message to this evening, that we are not going to condone any communal clashes anywhere in Biafra territory from tonight. Specifically, we are calling on His Royal Highness Chief Eze John Oge from Mbo, Nohauku local government, Biafra province in Ebonyi state. We are appealing to you, His Royal Highness, that at no given reason should there be any communal clashes again from tonight. This community, I just said that nobody should be calling this phone. Please, can you people stop calling this phone? And then the next person is Chief Frederick Ogeome. Chief Frederick Ogeome is also a chief in Mbo, and he is a chief in a community between Mbo and Eza community. We are the Biafra people are calling your attention today. I want this particular video to be caught and sent to these traditional rulers. That we are calling your attention today that whatever differences you have with the people of Eza or the community or a neighboring community that have always fueled communal clashes, from tonight, suspend it. Suspend whatever differences you have with the Eza people. The reason for this particular call for you, the traditional rulers, to call all the youth to order and suspend this crisis is that we do not need any distraction from today. We have entered a very, very important phase of this struggle, and we will not tolerate any distraction. And any community that fails to heed to this particular directive, and you want to go into communal clashes, while we are fighting for our freedom, we are going to bring peacekeeping, Biafra Liberation Army for peacekeeping. And we do not want to do that. So we want you to make sure you put your house in order. That is the only thing you will do as a contribution to the Biafra freedom. Don't distract us with your nonsense communal clashes. All your communal clashes, immediately Biafra is restored, we are going to put an end to it. We will go and begin to solve it, the fundamental, to know the fundamental, to know what is the cause of these communal clashes. Because, you know, Nigeria state, they do it on purpose. They will have a community and they will not define your boundaries and they will not define your land. So they just leave it like that so that you people can fight and kill each other. and divide everywhere. So in Biafra, we are going to make sure that the Boundary Commission of Biafra will go to work to make sure that every community knows where their land started and where the land ended. And everybody must abide to the law of the Biafra land, especially on the Boundary Commission's law. We have to make sure that you abide to this law. So we're going to solve this problem. Can these people stop calling me? Why are you people not listening to stop calling me? You are disturbing me on this program. The next person is, oh my goodness. You all need to be blocked. Or somebody will be hearing, don't call, and you'll be calling. Stupid people. All right. The next is Chief of Chief Alegu Mama. This chief is the chief of Eza, and this chief is in between Okwagba and Okwagba and Eza in Ebonyi State. Please, if you know this chief, please, Chief Alego Nama, Chief Alego Nama or something. If you know this chief, tell this chief that we have called his name today on the program, on the Biafra program, that we are telling him to call all his men and all his youth to order. And from tonight, every communal clashes or differences is hereby prohibited. You are not allowed to fight anybody anymore from today. Let this particular time be holy in Biafra land. We do not want to hear that Eza and Mbo or Eza and Ukwawa people are into any communal clashes until Biafra come. No matter how provocative your neighbor is, please hold your peace until further notice. This directive must be taken very seriously. This is coming from the Biafra people. The next person is Chief Aliba Sunday. This is the chief of FM in between Eza, FM people, between Eza people. If you know Chief Aliba Sunday, tell him that we have called his name on our program today, and we are saying that at no reason will there be any other crisis anywhere around his community, between his community and another community. The communal clashes they have had in the past is a past and a forgotten issue. From tonight, we do not want to see any communal clashes again. Why we are saying this thing is that the Biafra people are not going to take it very easy because we do not need any distraction. When we have our Biafra freedom and our independence, we are going to come down to you and know the reason why you are fighting each other and engaging in communal clashes, and we are going to solve whatever the differences are. Whether it is land dispute, we are going to solve it, making sure that your boundary and your land and your boundary is well defined according to Biafra law. So from tonight, communal clashes between any Biafra community and another is prohibited. Number 5, Chief Emmanuel Ochie Orenya. Chief Emmanuel Ochie Orenya. If you know the Chief Emmanuel Ochie Orenya, he is the chief of Agila in Benue State, the Benue part of the Biafra. It is the chief that is between Mbo and Agila, and between Mbo and Agila people. We want this message to go to this chief that today we are demanding that every communal clashes between this chief, the community, and any other community, not just about Mbo, but any other community in that area, that from tonight we bar any kind of communal clashes. We do not want to hear any gunshot that another person is going to the farm and another person is killed and anything like that. We do not want to hear any gunshot anywhere that somebody is fighting another. This particular announcement goes into force immediately because we do not want distraction in the liberation of Biafra until Biafra is liberated. We are going to solve the issue of boundary. We are going to solve the issue of land dispute once and for all, and everybody will enjoy lasting peace. There will be no communal clashes in Biafra land. I want you to understand that all these communal clashes you are seeing everywhere is a deliberate policy that Nigeria used to divide us, to cause crisis within us, to make us fight and against each other. And we will start from this point, even before we get our independence, to start solving the problem. So from tonight, all the boys that are causing this problem, you better go and join to defend Biafra land and do not take up your arms against each other. From tonight, it is prohibited to engage in any communal clash. More of communities will be announced as we go on, those, especially those in Afikpo, that last week we had the news. So more of these communities will be announced. And I will personally engage the traditional rulers, not just calling their names on social media. I will personally engage them by myself to make sure that this message assimilates and goes into their score. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless our leader, Mazin Andikano. May God bless Sunday Igboho. May God bless Akintoye. May God bless Omada. May God bless our media team. May God bless all of you that are supporting this program. May God bless our advisory board. May God bless all of you. May God bless our traditional rulers, our chiefs, our Igwes, our pastors, our reverend sisters and reverend fathers. May God bless all of you. May God bless Finland. Above all, may God bless Finland, because Finland flag is going very high. May God bless all of you. Country that knows what is human right. May God bless all of you. And tomorrow, sit at home. We want to see videos. We want to see pictures. We want to see complete coverage of sit at home tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to have, during the sit at home, we are going to have question and answer in the morning. So we are coming live in the morning for question and answer. Question and answer, the sit at home for the very first time after a long break on that. So tomorrow, it may not be very in the morning, but maybe sometime in the afternoon or in the morning, depending on my time, we are going to have, because I'm sitting at home too. So we are going to have a question and answer telephone conversation, and you can call freely during the sit at home tomorrow. Thank you very much. From here, from me, is good evening.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we're making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
And when we are saying we want to be free, it's not only Biafra that is going to be free this year. A lot of nations will break. Nigeria is going to break into pieces, and we, the Biafra people, are going to make it possible. I am telling you now, it is not a hidden thing. It is going to happen this year. Those of you who are planning to have election in 2023, which is next month, you are going to fail.